All right, today we're jumping into a chapter that is just packed with action and incredible lessons. Exodus 17. We're heading out into the Sinai Desert with the newly freed Israelites. And let me tell you, their journey is just getting started, and things are about to get really intense really fast. This is a story about what happens when you are pushed to your absolute limit. Really try to put yourself in Moses' shoes for a second. You're leading this massive crowd of people, families, kids, all their animals, through a barren wasteland. And then the single most essential thing for survival, water, is gone. The panic, the fear, it must have been completely overwhelming. Well, that's not a hypothetical. That's exactly where this story begins. So this first crisis that hits them, you might think it's all about dehydration, about a physical need, but it goes so much deeper. This quickly becomes a massive test of faith. They're thirsty for water, for sure, but they're even more thirsty for proof that God hasn't abandoned them.
And the Bible puts it so simply, so bluntly. They get to a place called Rephidim, and there was no water, period. That's it. You can just feel the crushing weight of those words. The one thing they desperately need to live is nowhere to be found. The crisis is immediate.
And that desperation, it turns ugly fast. It boils over into anger, and they point it all right at Moses. And listen to their words. Give us water. That's not a polite request. It's a hostile demand. It's an accusation, as if Moses is personally hiding the water from them. So here's Moses, caught right in the middle. He's feeling all the pressure of their anger, all the fear. So he does the only thing he can do. He cries out to God. And he's basically saying, this is getting out of control. They're about to kill me. This is a leader who is at his absolute breaking point. And this one question, this gets to the real heart of the problem. Underneath all the complaining and the anger is this deep, gnawing doubt. After seeing all the miracles in Egypt, after walking through the Red Sea on dry land, they're seriously asking if God has just led them out into the desert to die. It's just a raw, painful moment of faltering faith. So how does God respond? His instruction is just incredible, and it's so full of meaning. He tells Moses to take the very same rod he used for the plagues and to part the sea. God is directly connecting this new miracle to his past faithfulness, reminding them who's in charge. Then he says, smite the rock. An instrument of judgment is now going to bring forth life-giving water. And for us, looking at this through the New Testament, the Apostle Paul tells us that rock was a picture of Christ, who was struck for us so that living water could flow to us all. It's just a breathtaking foreshadowing. And to make sure this moment is never forgotten, the place gets a new name. Well, two new names. The first one is Massah. It literally means testing. It's a permanent reminder that this is where the people put God on trial, demanding that he prove himself all over again. And the second name is Meribah, which means quarreling. So together you have testing and quarreling. It's like a monument to their spiritual failure, even in the very moment that God was performing a miracle to save their lives. Okay, so they have water. You'd think they could finally breathe a sigh of relief. But no. The moment one crisis ends, a totally different one begins. This time, the threat isn't their own internal doubt. It's a very real, very dangerous external enemy. Talk about no time to rest. Out of nowhere, they're attacked. A fierce, hostile tribe called the Amalekites just sweeps in and starts a war. Think about it. The Israelites are exhausted, they're emotionally drained, and now they're thrust into their very first battle as a new nation. Now, this is where the story takes a turn you just wouldn't expect. This is no ordinary battle. Victory isn't about who has more soldiers or better tactics. It's entirely connected to what Moses is doing up on a hill overlooking the battle. As long as he holds up his hand with the rod of God in it, Israel is winning. The moment his hand starts to drop, Amalek starts winning. It's a powerful visual lesson that the real battle is being won or lost on a spiritual level. And here's the reality check. The task is supernatural, but Moses is just a man. He gets tired. His arms feel like lead. Try holding your arms up for more than 5 minutes, let alone for hours. And this simple human weakness threatens to cost them the entire war. And the solution isn't some new miracle. It's community. His brother Aaron and another leader named Hur see him struggling, And they don't just yell encouragement from a distance. No, they get involved. They find a rock for him to sit on, and then they stand on either side of him and physically hold his arms up. They literally become his strength when his own strength is gone. Because of their support, Moses' hands stay steady for the rest of the entire day, right up until sunset. This victory wasn't about one man's endurance anymore. It was about the strength of a community, working together to fulfill God's condition for victory. And with the spiritual battle being won on the hill, Joshua and his army down in the valley were empowered to win the physical battle. The victory was total. It's just this beautiful illustration of how prayer and heavenly help empower our actions here on earth. To commemorate this amazing victory, Moses builds an altar, and he names it Jehovah Nissi, which means the Lord is my banner. A banner is your flag in battle, the standard you rally to. Moses is making a powerful declaration. We won, not because of us, but because God himself is our banner. He's our reason for fighting and our source of victory. So as we wrap up, let's look at how these two incredible stories, the water from the rock and the battle against Amalek, fit together. They teach us some powerful lessons about God and our walk with him that are just as true for us today. So what's the bottom line? Exodus 17 shows us that God is our provider, whether we need something physical, like water, or something spiritual, like strength for a battle. It also shows us our own limitations and just how much we need each other. Even the best leaders can't do it alone. And most importantly, true victory is only ever found when we stop relying on ourselves and depend completely on God as our banner. And that leaves us with something to think about. We all face battles, right? Some are internal, fights with doubt and fear, like Israel at the rock. Others are external challenges that feel overwhelming. The lesson from Moses, Aaron, and Hur is crystal clear. We were never meant to fight alone. So as you go, think about this. Who has God placed in your life to be your Aaron and Hur? And just as important, whose arms are you being called to hold up?